For about 6 years of my life, I've worked professionally performing Shakespeare, and I love Shakespeare. And my favourite play. I don't know which my favourite play is. Possibly Romeo and Juliet, possibly Macbeth. There are lots of possibilities. Midsummer Night's Dream, but that's not so important. But one of my least favourite plays are also Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and Midsummer Night's Dream. You can butcher these things. It depends on who you've got directing and performing them. I heard that there are three basic elements in a good drama: the writing, the actors, and the director. And if all three come together, brilliant. But you only need two out of the three to have a good show. I think it's similar in role-playing games. There are three elements you need to make a good role-playing game. You need good players, a good GM, and a good game, basically. And for me, when I don't think this is a game. This is the dead skeleton of a game. You're not having this. You don't have Dungeons and Dragons. You have the skeleton, the dead skeleton of Dungeons and Dragons. It's up to the GM and players to make it come alive. And when you're actually playing, that is Dungeons and Dragons, not the rules. There's a lot of discussion of rules and rule systems and settings, etc. For me, the most important element in any game I play are the players, because I watched a video recently by Ivanmike. I've watched a lot of videos recently by Ivanmike. Recommend them. He was talking about things that attract him to role-playing games, and he says for him, the most important element is the premise, the twist or the idea behind the game. That's certainly an element for me. But usually a premise will only really attract me for a one-shot or maybe a short series, a mini campaign. But it's the execution that is the most important element to me. In contrast to Ivanmike, who, as he pointed out, H.P. Lovecraft was not great at execution. He didn't write the best constructed stories. What I'm trying to recreate in my games is not something interesting, but an interesting idea that's flawed. If I want to run something for a long time, campaign's my favorite play. If I want to run something for a long time, I want it to be quality. I'm aiming for Game of Thrones rather than. I'm trying to think of an sort of an interesting fantasy that I wouldn't make into a series. Nothing comes to mind at the moment. For this reason, I'm actually more interested in. I'm more attracted to a game by the people I play with and how committed they are. And for this reason, setting is also important. For execution, you don't need just a GM, you need GM and players. And if you have a setting that is rich and that all the people at the table, whether virtual, online, or a physical table, if all the people can buy in and know it, they can all bring something to add to the execution of the setting. I've played in games where I've played in games of Middle-earth where it might just as well be any D&D setting, where there seems to be no difference to any other generic fantasy. If I want to play Middle-earth, I want it to feel like Middle-earth, and I want all the players to contribute towards that feeling. That's the thing I'm loving about Jarl DM's Middle-earth campaign Against the Shadow that we're playing at the moment. It's not just generic fantasy. It it has the feel of Middle Earth. Similarly, if I play in Rome, if I play in Star Wars, if I play in Cthulhu, each one has got to reflect the setting. I don't want to play Cthulhu and have a Indiana Jones or a different flavor. The atmosphere depends on GM and players collaborating to create the feel of the game. And so, for me, basically all I'm saying is there are different elements that make a good game, and I can enjoy other elements. But for me, the biggest single strange attractor for me is execution. And that is what I go for. My name is Caius. I love role-playing games, and I hope to see you in one in the future.